Hey folks, and welcome back to another Division 2 video. In this one, I'm going to go over a few of the strongest talent combinations with the best synergy that you can put together in your builds in Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Let's jump into it. Before we get into the video, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're enjoying this video and finding it helpful, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing for more Division 2 and Division Universe content. With that, let's get into the video. In Tom Clancy's The Division 2, talents can give you bonuses to attributes, additional abilities, or buffs which can be passive or need action to activate. But you are only able to equip 2 talents on your character at a time. These are on your chest piece and on your backpack. Because you can only equip 2, it's important to make sure the talents you decide to use in your builds work well together, providing a larger benefit than either could on their own, to maximize their effect and efficiency. There are so many great talent combinations in The Division 2, but in this video I'm going to go over 5 of the strongest combinations you can add to your builds for some of the best results. Starting with one of my favourites for pure burst damage, and that's Glass Cannon on the chest, paired with Vigilance on the backpack. Glass Cannon. All damage you deal is amplified by 25%, all damage you take is amplified by 50%. And Vigilance. Increase total weapon damage by 25%, taking damage disables this buff for 4 seconds. These talents don't so much synergize together, but they are both some of the highest damage talents on both the backpack and chest, so stacking both will give any build a large overall damage increase. But obviously this combination has a big disadvantage, and that is that it's the very definition of a glass cannon build. You can initially do a huge amount of damage, potentially taking out a target before they have a chance to fire back, but your character will also be taking an increased amount of damage due to glass cannon. And on top of that, taking damage also loses the vigilance damage buff for a few moments. Because of this, sometimes this combination works best in a group, ideally with a tank on your team to help buff your armor while you do the damage, working in a similar way to the classic holy trinity of RPG and MMO games. If you're more of a solo player, this is still a very strong combination of talent, but if you wanted a little more survivability, swapping Glass Cannon for Obliterate with a high crit chance, or Spotter with some kind of pulse, will increase your survivability, but you will also lose a little bit of damage doing this, so really it's up to you if it's worth the trade-off. Next we have another damage talent combo, but with a much more aggressive run and gun playstyle, getting right into the thick of the fight with bonus armor and increased damage. This is of course many players' favourite Intimidate on the chest and Adrenaline Rush on the backpack. Intimidate. While you have bonus armor, amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. And Adrenaline Rush. Whenever you're within 10 meters of an enemy, gain 20% bonus armor for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times with a 5-second cooldown. This is a classic combination and easily the talents that synergize the best together, rewarding you with extra armor for running into the fight and getting close up, which in turn then gives you a big damage increase for gaining the armor. These talents paired up are great for both PvP and PvE in a group or solo, with them being very versatile with a high survivability and high damage, as long as you're able to keep the momentum going. Next, for the tanks, a tank build being a low damage, high survivability build with the goal of pulling the attention of the enemy and absorbing as much damage as possible. We have the talents Vanguard on the chest and Protector on the backpack. Vanguard. Deploying a shield makes it invulnerable for 5 seconds and grants 45% of your armor as bonus armor to all other allies for 20 seconds. And this has a cooldown of 25 seconds. And Protector. When your shield is damaged, you gain 5% bonus armor, and all other allies gain 15% of your armor as bonus armor for 3 seconds, with a 3-second cooldown. Together, these are some of the best non-exotic talents to help buff your team's armor, with Vanguard giving your full team a huge amount of bonus armor whenever you deploy your shield, which is perfect for helping your team push forward. This is also something you can stay mindful of, strategically holstering and redeploying your shield to take advantage of the buff when it's needed. On top of this, Protector on the backpack also helps keep the bonus armor going, giving your team 15% of your armor value as bonus armor when your shield takes damage, which should be a large amount of bonus armor if you've built your tank for durability by stacking the armor core attribute. If you're into playing a healer or support build, Empathetic Resolve on the chest and Safeguard on the backpack make for a strong, effective combination that's definitely worth trying out. Your team will thank you. Empathetic Resolve. Repairing an ally increases their total weapon and skill damage by 3 to 15% for 20 seconds, and 1 to 7% for yourself. Effectiveness increased by your skill tier. And Safeguard. While at full armor, increase total skill repair by 100%. Empathetic Resolve and Safeguard work well to support each other, creating an overall more effective support build. That is, as long as you're keeping safe and keeping your own personal armor topped up. Safeguard will give your heals a massive boost, helping you to support your team by keeping their armor up. And on top of this, Empathetic Resolve adds a damage buff to your heals for both weapon and skill damage. So you're not just healing your whole team, but you're also providing them with a damage increase, making everybody overall more effective. This combination works really well with the Restorer Hive. Throw the Hive into an easy to reach place for your team, make sure to keep your own personal armor up to keep Safeguard active, and let your team enjoy some big heals with an additional damage buff. And next, for skill damage builds, these are a little bit spoilt for choice depending on how you like to play. For the chest, there's Kinetic Momentum, and on the backpack, there's either Combined Arms or Tech Support. Kinetic Momentum. When in combat, each skill generates a stack while active or not on cooldown. Stacks increase your total skill damage by 1% and total skill repair by 2%, up to 15 stacks per skill, and this is lost when they go on cooldown. Combined Arms. Shooting an enemy increases total skill damage by 25% for 3 seconds. And Tech Support. Skill kills increase total skill damage by 25% for 20 seconds. Like the first talent combination I mentioned at the beginning of the video, these talents aren't so much about synergy, but stacking damage. Kinetic Momentum is a great skill damage talent, but if you want, you can also use Glass Cannon, which will give similar results damage-wise, but obviously with the drawback of increased taken damage. And because I only tend to use a skill damage build for legendary missions or legendary summit, I tend to stick with Kinetic Momentum to keep that little bit more survivability. Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear actually did an interesting video comparing both of these talents from a skill build perspective, which I'll link in the description below. If you enjoy your skill builds, I definitely recommend checking it out. On the backpack, there is a choice of Combined Arms or Tech Support, and this is where it relies on how you like to play. If you want to stick to cover and let your skills deal with everything for what I like to refer to as the Pokemon build, Tech Support is the way to go. But if you prefer to join in the fight and take advantage of weapon talents like In Sync, Combined Arms is a much more engaging talent to go with. And that's 5 of the best talent combinations you can try out if you're thinking about putting together a new build. What are your go-to talent combinations, or what are your favourites? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more Division 2, Division Universe and gaming content. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.